Sitaram, Sip Anil, Sip Ru Mataji, Sip Sarla, Sip Yogini, Sip Saroja, Sip Aham, Sip Govind, Sip Tina, Sip Lakshmi, Sip Parvati, Sip Sagai, Sip iPhone, Sip Girishananda, Sip Harshal, Sip Premchandji, Sip Sukeshni, Sip Tina, Sip Deepak, Sip Rajendra, Sip Deepatma, Sip Bliko, Sip Chidanand, Sip Shiva, Sip Anil, Sip Atmatray, Sip Gopal, Sip Ritika, and the rest of you who are in the call, I welcome you. And today we have an interesting discussion. And the topic of today's discussion is learn the art of detached attachment. So today is Friday, and I have the opportunity of first presenting this 20, 30 minutes, and then I would come back to asking you questions. How to live with detached attachment. This is the challenge of today's discussion. My dear friends, uh, I hope we have a good connection. Let me, yes. So, the challenge of the topic is to understand what is this detached attachment all about. I happen to write a book called The 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. So, we will try to review this book. What is the book? The 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. Why did I write this book? Why did I write this book? Because seekers of enlightenment are attached. And because they are attached, they are imprisoned. So, what is the solution? Is it renunciation? Do we have to renounce the world? Is it giving up relationships? Is it giving up of possessions? How can we become detached? The challenge is not detachment. The challenge of attachment is not detachment. You know, a lot of people tell you, oh, you're attached, you have to be detached. No. The challenge is how can we have detached attachment? This is a concept very few people understand. A concept of being attached in a manner that you are detached. In principle, what does it mean? On the outside, it looks like you're attached. But in the inside, you are not attached. You are detached. Let's quickly go through this and then we have a discussion. What is attachment, my dear friends? Attachment means you're clinging. You're clinging to people, to things, to pleasures, to addictions, to habits. You become attached. Sometimes it's a person. Sometimes you're attached to your brand, your name. Sometimes you're attached to a family. Sometimes you're attached to a society. Sometimes you're attached to whatever you're attached. Your attachment is because of ignorance. You think this is mine. When you come to the reality, nothing is mine, you become detached. The simple realization that nothing is mine. What is mine? What did I bring to this earth? Nothing. What will I take from this earth? Nothing. Is it a great learning? Is it a wow, what an intelligent guy? Yeah? He knows you brought nothing and you will take nothing. What an intelligent guy. There's no intelligence. This is ignorance that we don't realize that we have brought nothing and we will take nothing. But attachment creates misery. Why does attachment create misery? Because we fear. What do we fear? That we will lose. We will lose what we possess. We will lose if I lose this, whether my car, whether a relationship. This fear of loss creates stress. And we get attached to people, to possessions, to duties, to responsibilities. You know, this whole concept of fear is a big problem. Why are people having a fear of death? Because they're attached to what they feel in the moment of death. They will lose all that they own. They will lose all that is known. So we fear death. Oh my God, what will happen if I die? Nothing will happen. The world will continue. Look at so many people who have died. What difference it makes to anybody? Nothing. Nothing. World will just go on. Just like you put your fist in a bucket of water and you shake inside. So much you think. Take out your fist from the bucket of water. No difference. The water looks good. Nothing to worry. So, my dear friends, today let us try to explore what is the problem. Are relationships bad? Should we give up people who we are attached to? No, there's no need to give up people. Why should we give up people that we are attached to? Then what should we do? We should understand what is the cause of our possessiveness. We should understand what's happening with our expectations. We have to understand what happens when we cling to somebody. Clinging equals suffering. Who will deny this? Will anybody deny that if you cling, you will suffer? So what did I find when I wrote a book? I found a solution. I found the way to detachment. I called it the 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. What did I call it? The 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. I called it commandments. The first commandment, thou shalt be free. First commandment, thou shalt be free. First of all, make yourself free. Do not cling. Make yourself free means remember that freedom is precious. Make your freedom precious to you. Don't give it up. Don't cling. Nothing belongs. Don't let relationships imprison you in a cage. Realize that if you are not free, you are miserable. Therefore, let go. Let go. Don't be a puppet. Sometimes we become like a puppet on a string. So what's the first commandment? The first commandment of detached attachment. Number 1, thou shalt be free. Number 2, commandment number 2, thou shalt be happy. Thou shalt be happy. Make your happiness a priority. Be happy now, this moment. Don't let your happiness depend on somebody. Oh, it's dangerous. Just imagine your happiness is dependent on somebody. Oh, it's dangerous, really dangerous. Sometimes it's a partner, sometimes it's a friend, it's a parent, it's a child. Oh, it can be a disaster. So don't let your happiness depend on somebody. Make it a choice to be always happy. Don't let your happiness depend on a possession. So that possession is not there, oh, you become so unhappy. Maybe a car, maybe a house, maybe whatever. So the second commandment, thou shalt be happy, resolve to be happy. Don't become so attached to something. So thou shalt be free, thou shalt be happy. Thou shalt love all. Here comes the key to detached attachment. Thou shalt love all. What does it mean? It means you will not let your love be a finicky love from one to one, skin to skin, limited love edition. You will discover the true meaning of love. What is true love? It is loving. It is love of the soul. LOVE, very passionate, ecstasy of joy. You will discover Ishke Hakiki. You will discover Agape. You will discover the rainbow of 7 colors of love. Then love will be like a fountain of joy. It will flow. It's very funny. Why should you just restrict your love? It is attachment and possessive. This attachment, possessiveness, it binds us. So, my dear friends, what's the third commandment? Thou shalt love all. A lot of people, especially women, they have a big problem because they start to believe that my child is my child. Khalil Gibran wrote a beautiful book, I think The Prophet. He said, your children are not your children. They came through you. They didn't come from you. They are with you, but your children don't belong to you. Which parent believes that my child does not belong to me? Oh, this is my child. Because of this ignorance, because of the ignorance that you think this is my child, your love becomes limited. Somehow we have been wrongly programmed to believe that we have to love only one person. Or, for example, love only our family. Why does the Bible tell us love thy neighbor? No, love love must flow. Therefore, what is the third commandment? Thou shalt love all. We are going to the fourth commandment. Thou shalt not have expectations. My personal experience with expectations. When you have expectation, you become miserable. But you have no expectation, whatever comes is a bonus. Whatever comes is a bonus. So don't live with expectations. You can love, but don't have expectations in your love. The moment you expect something from somebody, you become unhappy. So thou shalt be free, thou shalt be happy, thou shalt love all, and thou shalt not have any expectation. Very, very important. Did I not tell you the story of that man whose daughter did not return home? I think I told the story to you yesterday or day before yesterday. That father whose teenage daughter had went to a Buddhist friend's home for chanting. He reported the police. He reported to all the hospitals. And then she came back after 4 hours because the phone had got switched off. Oh, the problem is what? The problem is attachment. The problem is expectations. Why did my daughter not call me? Why did my daughter not tell me? The daughter told him 1 week back that she was going on the next week to a friend. So these commandments help us. Commandment number 5, thou shalt not lose peace of mind. When you're attached, you become stressed. When you cling, the clinging causes suffering. Therefore, what is the commandment? I will not lose peace of mind. And peace you don't have to find, peace is within. Still the mind. So if you want peace, you don't have to find, but you will not lose peace of mind because of the mind. Where there is a peace of mind, there can be no peace of mind. Therefore, you have to tell yourself this. What? मन बड़ा है चोर चैन चुराता है डर और चिंता में हमें डुबाता है सत्य छुपाता है मिथ्या दिखाता है शांति जो अपनी मन चुराता है मन को है मारना दुश्मन बड़ा है वो मन को जो मारे शांति वो पाता. Many of you sing this song, don't you? शांति से मिला क्या हसी आनंद. So what's the commandment number 5? Thou shalt have peace of mind. This is thou shalt not lose peace of mind. So F F H L E P. What are the first 5? FHLEP. Thou shalt be free, thou shalt be happy, thou shalt love all, thou shalt not have expectation, thou shalt not lose peace of mind. So remember the first 5 letters, FHLEP. Don't forget this. FHLEP. It is very important. Then, number 6, thou shalt accept and surrender. A. Thou shalt accept and surrender. Knowing I have to accept. It's karma. I will not react. I will relax. I will accept. Accept what has happened and surrender to what will happen. Because I understand this drama is karma. It's a show. So I always use songs. I tell myself, Samarpan karna jeevan jo ye jisne diya wahi sambhalenge jo bhi hota उनके हाथों में है क्यों है डरना अर्पण करना है. You have to let go. You have to let go. You have to surrender, my dear friends, because if you don't let go and if you don't surrender, you're going to become miserable. So A, accept and surrender. FHLEP and then A. AMIPS. What is M? M, thou shalt not be miserable. Thou shalt not be miserable. Why? Because when we are attached, we are miserable. How do we become unhappy? We become unhappy because of the body, mind, ego. We become happy because of physical pain. We become happy because of the miseries of the mind. Today on Instagram Live, I spoke of E. Those who came on Instagram Live today, I spoke of E, eliminate the mind. Eliminate the mind and its miseries. That was the topic on today's AiR Happiness Secret. So, my dear friends, thou shalt not be miserable. A.M. Thou shalt not be miserable. How do we become miserable? Sometimes we are like the dog sitting on a nail. There was a friend who went to his friend and asked him, "Why is your dog groaning?" Grrr, grrr. So he asked, "Why is your dog groaning?" He said, "Ignore it, yeah. The dog is sitting on a nail." You're a funny dog. Why is your dog sitting on the nail? You see, it's not hurting so much. So we are like the dog sitting on the nail. We are sitting on the nail and groaning because it's hurting little bit. We don't get up from the nail. So resolve that you will get up from the nail. Resolve that you will eliminate misery. You will not let the body, mind, ego make you miserable. Very important. Number 8, thou shalt overcome ignorance. Oh, very important. The moment we are ignorant, we are attached. Therefore, realize. What did we say in the beginning? Nothing is mine. Nobody is mine. This intelligence will make you realize that life is like a dream. It's an illusion, a show. What is the reality? I love this story. I think many of you don't know of this story. There was a prince, my dear friends, there was a prince. And this prince not getting married. The prince is not getting married because every time they showed him a princess, he said, she, not good, not good, not good, not getting married. Then one day, finally, when he was in the storehouse of the palace, he saw a beautiful princess, a beautiful, very, very beautiful princess. And he fell in love. He sent the message to the queen, I will marry this princess. That princess was a very young girl. The princess was a very young girl. And so they tried to find out this princess by now should be right age of the prince because the date of the painting was such. Then when they started finding for this princess, they could not find the princess. The queen asked, which is the princess that my son is looking for? They showed the picture to the queen, and the queen was terrified. The queen was terrified because the picture of the princess was the picture of the prince dressed as a girl when he was young. And now the prince had fallen in love with himself. And he said, if I will marry only this princess. I will not marry anybody else. Now, big problem. What to do? The wise man came. And the wise man told the prince, this picture is you. And the prince was an intelligent man. The prince laughed and laughed and laughed. My dear friends, when we are attached, we are like this prince. What are we? We are like this prince, foolishly getting attached to something, to somebody which will never be ours. We have lived our life of ignorance. AMI, accept and surrender. Don't be miserable, and thou shalt overcome ignorance. Remember, there are 10 commandments of detached attachment. The ninth commandment, AMIP, thou shalt live with purpose. If you want to reach that state of detached attachment, why is somebody attached? I asked a foolish girl once, why are you so attached? You know what I found? That girl had no purpose. Because that girl had no purpose, she was attached. When you have a purpose, you become detached. When you have no purpose, then obviously you have nothing. Your life is meaningless. Your life is purposeless. So you are attached. Is the purpose of life to be attached to somebody? No. The purpose of life is to find the purpose of life. Why am I here? Who am I? Don't we know who are we? Contemplate on birth. Contemplate 9 months before. What were you? Discover who am I? Why am I here? The moment you discover the purpose, you're out of the circus. Why you are clinging in this circus called life? Because you have not found your purpose. So, commandment number 9, thou shalt live with purpose. It's very often that we get carried away in this world Because we have not learned the 10 commandments. The 10th commandment, thou shalt live as the divine soul. AMIPS. S stands for the soul. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the ego. I am the soul. This will help you to love all. This will help you to live in consciousness. This will help you to overcome all the other causes of you being attached. Soul is not attached. When you come to know that you are the soul, you become detached. So, what are the 10 commandments? FHLEPAMIPS. I learned it like that. I learned it with 10 alphabets. FHLEPAMIPS. If only you learn the 10 commandments of detached attachment, you will be awakened, you will be liberated, and you will be free. So, my dear friends, quickly let us put these 10 commandments together. FHLEP, thou shalt be free, thou shalt be happy, thou shalt love all, thou shalt not have expectations, and thou shalt have peace of mind. FHLEP. AMIPS, thou shalt accept and surrender, thou shalt not be miserable, thou shalt overcome ignorance, thou shalt live with purpose, and thou shalt live as the soul, the divine soul. Is it difficult? No, not so difficult. But now, before I close and go on to uh, the question and answer session, let us quickly understand how important it is to live without attachment. Attachment, it makes us blind, because attachment makes us a slave of the mind. Attachment leaves our priorities behind. Attachment makes us miserable. Have you been attached? I have been attached. I know the problem of attachment. Attachment makes somebody become a part of every breath that you take. You can't even breathe peacefully. This is the problem with attachment. If you have to be attached to the divine. If you're attached to the divine, then you are not attached, because the divine is in one and all. The divine manifests everywhere. What do I tell the divine? I tell the divine, मेरे चित्त में और ख्याल में तुम बस तुम ही हो, एक पल भी ऐसा नहीं जिसमें तुम नहीं हो. तुम दिल की धड़कन, तुम मेरी जान हो, तुम हो तो मैं हूं, तुम बिन नहीं हूं, कुछ भी नहीं हूं. So life can be very beautiful if you learn the 10 commandments of detached attachment. When I was attached, I used to suffer. Now I'm detached, I'm in a state of bliss. My love has become so much more profound. My love has become so much more beautiful. But that love flows. That love is not a petty love. That love is not a clinging. So, my dear friends, I'm leaving you with 10 commandments. But next week, we will take up the topic of what is true love. Because from this attachment, it leads me to the next topic. How many of you know the meaning of true love? You know the meaning of love, but what is true love? That we will discuss next week. But this week, you can ask me questions, and the questions are on any topic. But the main topic of today's discussion, the 10 commandments of detached attachment. Let us start, Administrator. I like to give enough time for question answers, so I'm not dragging my session. I'm ending it now. I have covered the 10 commandments. If somebody wants to ask us questions, we have Deepak and Nitai. Let us start. Deepak and
Sure,
Nitai.
sure, sir.
Sir.
How about having attachment with your guru or guru's body?
The guru is not somebody who can be attached. If you are having attachment with your guru, means then even you are not ready, neither your guru is the right guru. The guru will teach you, see, you can never be attached to a guru, because the guru is never for one disciple. Have you ever seen one guru being only for one disciple?
No.
Then
It's for everybody.
The moment you know that my guru is for everybody, then already you have learned the art of detachment. You're not clinging to your guru. If you have a spiritual mentor, then that spiritual mentor is not somebody you are clinging to. You love your spiritual mentor. You love your master, your spiritual master, but you're not clinging. Yes, continue.
But in my case, if I share my example, like my guru left the body, and then I feel his, I start missing him. So what do you feel it is?
That means that that was not your real guru. If you're a real guru, you never miss your guru. My guru left his body, but I'm not missing my guru.
No,
Why?
we had
Why
same
am I?
guru.
Why I'm not missing my guru?
Maybe you have built that connection with him.
Because your guru left you. My guru never left me.
Okay.
My guru is with me only.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
See, when somebody asked me the question, what is the real meaning of a soulmate? The real meaning of soulmate is when 1 plus 1, when 1 plus 1 doesn't become 2, when 1 plus 1 doesn't become 11, then what does it become? When 1 plus 1 becomes 1. When 1 plus 1 becomes 1, then the battle is won. Okay, Deepak?
Okay. Thank you.
Nitai, Govind, Meenakshi. Nitai, Govind, and Meenakshi. Yes, Nitai.
Pranam, Guruji. Do you think that our obligations to our social family, kids, are those not, I mean, even if I do not have expectations, they have expectations from us. And those things are not putting us in a cage. Is that, are you asking us to get detached from that?
Let me give you a logical understanding. Okay, Nitai. Suppose you have got a moral, you have got a duty, obligation towards your son, correct?
Yes.
And your son, and you have got one meal to feed your son. You feed your son, but there is one meal only, and there are 10 more beggars outside. So will you give your son the meal and keep the beggars hungry, or you will give the meal to your beggar and keep your son hungry?
Well, if there are beggars right outside, I would try to distribute.
No, but it's only one meal, I said. You can't distribute. It's only one meal. Either you make your son hungry, or you make the beggar hungry. Let the beggar be hungry.
I would give my son, yes.
Obviously, it's the right answer to give your son. Like you say that you will give your son, the question comes, you are obligated to your son or you're obligated to God. So which obligation is more important?
Both are, but if I see God in my son also, then...
No. That's a different... If you are not seeing God in your son, if your son is separate, God is separate. If you see God in your son, then the question disappears. See, the problem is that we are living in a fake world. We are living in a material world. We are living in a fake world. We are living with ignorance. We are caught with obligations, responsibilities to society, which doesn't matter. What matters is something else. And that we are not paying attention to what matters. So I hope you got your answer with what I'm trying to say.
If my son, let's say I'm obligated to my God, and if can I walk away from my son who is crying in hunger and say that I am enlightened, you are not?
Nitai, if you are obligated to your God, you will not walk away with your son who's dying of hunger, but you will not ignore your God to play ball with your son. You will have clarity as to what you've got to do. There's a difference between you walking away with your hungry son and you taking your son for a movie and ignoring your God. So then your priorities get straightened.
That there it's, I guess it's an easier choice.
So therefore, we have to have clarity in our priority. Okay? Govind, Meenakshi, Bala, Yogini, Sitaram. Yes, Govind.
Shivam, sit there.
Sure.
My question today is related to soul, mind, ego, and body,
Yes.
which we appear to be attached with.
Yes.
Now, from whatever I've gathered so far, soul, like air in the balloon, you mentioned, once the air is out of the balloon, it's dispersed in the universal soul.
Correct.
You can't bring that air back into the same balloon.
Correct.
So soul was never born and never dies, as
Correct.
we've also been. Next is body. Upon death, body will perish, will be burnt,
Yes.
gone.
Yeah.
Mind, a thing like mind you mentioned does not exist.
Correct.
It is a bundle of thoughts.
Perfect.
So for those who do not have self-realizations, you mentioned impressions or the karma in our mind and ego will take immediate rebirth upon death of the body.
Absolutely.
And the karma carries on into the new body.
Absolutely.
So here is my question. If mind does not exist, if ego is product of the mind, which is also what we have learned so far, then how can it be reborn upon death of the body? It can be reborn only if it exists. If it doesn't
Absolutely.
exist, it dispersed into the sky, just like the soul.
You are 110% right. You are fully master.
No,
You're accomplished.
I'm learning.
So let's quickly. What Govind is asking is what is called a classic question. It can be called, Govind's question can be called the most important question in the subject of spirituality. If you can answer the question today and you can understand it today, you're enlightened today.
Mhm.
It's as simple as this. If you can answer this question in consciousness, you will be enlightened today. So here it is. The body will die, any doubt? The body will die, no
Correct.
doubt. The
Correct.
soul is that life in the body, like air in the balloon. It will merge, it will go away, no doubt. The mind and ego, the subtle body, ME, mind and ego, that owns the karma, this mind and ego goes into a new body and is reborn. Any problem?
A
In
little problem.
understanding? No, up to understanding here, any problem in understanding
Yes.
this?
No, it's correct.
So in a normal case, what Govind, what you said, in a very normal case, the moment we are gone, we are reborn. The moment we are gone, we are reborn. So clear. Govind, you are so 100% clear that the body dies, the soul goes away, the mind and ego carrying karma is reborn. And the cycle goes on and on and on. Now, Govind, when you are enlightened, when you realize this fellow, the mind and ego, this fellow who is getting reborn with the karma, this fellow doesn't exist. This fellow is only caused because I'm ignorant.
Correct.
Because of my ignorance, it exists. It doesn't exist without my ignorance. The moment I am enlightened, the mind and ego doesn't exist. The moment the mind and ego doesn't exist, then who is reborn? Govind,
Nobody.
who's reborn?
Nobody. There is no rebirth.
Why?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's over. Nirvana, moksha, over.
But for those who are not enlightened
Then
and
you
they
continue.
then but how does that product get reborn when it doesn't exist? In genuine.
That product exists out of our ignorance.
Okay.
Now it's just like you telling me, I had a dream yesterday, and in that dream, there were two people who were beating me. You're telling me, okay, now I want to punish those two people who were beating me in my dream. So tell me, Govind, any problem?
Not possible.
They were,
I see your point.
why? you
I
had
see your
a
point.
dream. Yeah, you had a dream. Two people were beating you in the dream. You want to punish them, but there is no sense in punishing them because it was
It
just
was a dream, Kevin. I got it. Thank you.
So contemplate on this, because this one thing can give you enlightenment in 1 minute. We are only being reborn. We are only being reborn because we are ignorant. And because we are ignorant, the mind and ego, it is called the Sukshma Sharir, the subtle body. In
Yeah.
fact, the mind and ego is created by the Karana Sharir, or the causal body. The Karana Sharir, or the causal body, is causing the ignorance to create the mind and ego. If
Mhm.
there is no ignorance, then there is no mind and ego, and there is no rebirth. End of the story.
Got it.
Please contemplate. A beautiful question. Thank you, Govind. Very beautiful question for everybody. The question Govind asked is a classic. I'm calling it the most classic question of spirituality. Meenakshi, Bala, Yogini, Setura, and Lawrence.
Hello, sir. Shivoham. Sir,
Shivam,
I
bolo.
struggle to live as a soul. I
You struggle.
struggle to.
Why? You know why? Why do you struggle to live as a soul? It's very simple. Same what Govind asked. Same logic. You struggle to live as the soul. Tell me why.
Because of mind and ego. Body, we
not only mind,
understand the
no,
body will not.
not only mind and ego, because of body, mind, and ego.
No, so body still I am able to. I'm clear on that part. Ki body will not be there. Even at some
You
situations I am able to.
you've stopped worrying about your pregnancy, and you're okay now. How many months over? How
Yes,
many months are you through?
3 months, sir.
But you're still not overcome your worry. कि क्या
No, no,
होगा,
no.
कभी हो
I
गया.
have stopped. I have stopped, sir.
So as long as you say, body ko jo hoga hone do. If that is
Yes.
your attitude, the attitude is, I don't care. I don't care. I will do whatever precaution I have to be guided. But this body is not me. Chodo. Body, mind, and ego. Because you are living as body, mind, and ego, you are not able to live as the soul. The moment you realize I am in the body, the moment, like I told Govind, there is no mind and ego. Then kya hai aap? What are you?
The soul.
Then there is no doubt, Meenakshi. Do you have, as I'm talking to you on this call, do you have even a slightest doubt that you are the soul as I'm talking to you on this call?
So we have to remind ourselves again and again that I am the soul. I am the soul. No,
Cannot
I
remind.
don't know.
Cannot remind. You have to realize once and for all. Suppose I'm asking you, suppose you're living in a rented house. You're living in a rented house, okay? Meenakshi. And you're paying rent to your cousin. Point clear? You're living in the rented house, and you're paying rent to your cousin. And you keep on living in the rented house, and you're paying rent. One day, your other cousin comes and tells you that your grandfather who died had left this house in your name, not in your cousin's name. Abhi, if this house in which you are staying belongs to you and not your cousin, will you still pay rent to your cousin?
No.
Do I have to remind you that you don't have to pay rent?
Oh, sir.
Why do I not have to
But
remind you?
this
No.
bloody mind comes again and again and.
But realization is this. When you realize, ye to ghar mera ghar hai. Why will you pay rent to your cousin? When the realization comes, my grandfather left for me. Like a fool, I have paid. In fact, you will tell your cousin, give me back 5 years rent, what I've given you.
Okay.
So the realization, this is not something that you have to remind yourself. The moment you realize, suppose you're buying tomatoes for 50 rupees a kilo. You're buying tomatoes for 50 rupees a kilo, and somebody comes and shows
You have given this example earlier as well. Yeah. I
the
know.
same
I am aware
tomatoes
of
are
it.
available in the behind the street for 25 rupees. So now you have to, next day, do you have to remind yourself again that 25 rupees mein milega?
No.
You don't have to remind. You have awakened कि 50 रुपए मैं क्यों लूं? Why should I spend 50 rupees a kilo? It's available 25 rupees a kilo behind the shop, behind the fellow. Realization is important, not remembering, realizing. Bala Yogini Seturam Lawrence.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be in consciousness, my dear friends. Be in consciousness. The problem, sometimes we are stupid. Why are we stupid? We are stupid because of the mind. Who makes us stupid? The mind. Kill the mind. No more stupidity. As long as your mind is a boss, stupid will ride your horse. So don't let that continue. Yes, please. Bala.
Pranam Guruji.
Pranam.
Guruji, if I'm not clinging to anybody, but if somebody is clinging to me, then how can we get free from that, Guruji?
Somebody is clinging to you, then you move on. If somebody is clinging to you, then it's just like saying, very interesting question. The challenge is, how can somebody cling to you all the time? You're giving an opportunity for somebody to cling to you. Bhag jao.
Guruji, but the situation, if it is not possible physically, and then how we can run away from that situation, Guruji?
Then suffer.
Guruji, but if somebody physically has the problem and she is dependent on me, how could I run away, Guruji?
So, Bala, the clinging that we are talking about is not a physical clinging. The clinging that we are talking about is in your consciousness. Let me explain to you, Bala. The person who's clinging to you physically has a need, has dependency on you. That's not the problem, Bala. The problem in life is not that, Bala. अगर हम consciousness में हैं, हम आत्मा हैं, we are manifestation of God. Somebody is clinging. That person is also a divine manifestation. We can still progress. What is the problem, Bala? We are getting negative thoughts, toxic thoughts in that person clinging to us. We are having worry, we are having stress. अरे अगर ड्रामा है, ड्रामा में कोई हमारे ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, क्लिंग कर रहा है, छोड़ जाने दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है बाला? Are you understanding what I'm saying, Bala, or not?
Yeah, I'm understanding.
तो वो जो क्लिंग हो रहा है, वो कर्मा है, वो ड्रामा में चलेगा. लीव इट ना बाला. हमें कहाँ जाना है? My guru taught me I must move onward, forward, inward, upward, Godward. I must not cling, because if I cling, my clinging will lead to my suffering. I should be free. FHLEP, AMIPS. F, thou shalt be free. FH, thou shalt be happy. Thou shalt love all. Thou shalt not have expectations. Thou shalt have purpose. AMIPS, accept and surrender. Thou shalt not be miserable. Thou shalt overcome ignorance. Thou shalt have peace, and thou shalt live as the soul. If you are the divine soul, no, Bala, last point to tell you, soul को कोई cling कर सकता है? कोई cling कर रहा है? किसको cling कर रहा है?
बॉडी को.
किसको cling कर रहा है?
बॉडी को.
बॉडी माइंड ईगो. आप है ही नहीं, आप है ही नहीं बॉडी माइंड ईगो.
हाँ, सो ट्रू गुरुजी. गुरुजी, आंसर भी मेरे पास है, पर फिर भी याद नहीं रहता है गुरुजी.
Because mind is not letting you be conscious of answer. It is not that we don't have answer. Sometimes we have answer, but we make wrong choice. We know the answer. We know what is the right answer. फिर भी we choose the wrong answer. Why?
Because my ego doesn't allow us to what we say contemplate on that, Guruji.
Because of mind, ignorance. Mind से बचना है, मन से बचना है. I tell people, if you're in a mind state, you're destroyed. You cannot be in the mind state. This is the biggest challenge of life. You have to learn to be in consciousness. अगर हम consciousness में है ना, we will not make any mistake in life. We have to remain in the state of consciousness.
you,
Yogini
Guruji.
Seturam Lawrence. Yogini Seturam Lawrence.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam.
Sir, can you please tell me that where should I draw the line when it comes to clinging, like the relatives or maybe the society? There should be a line. Like I should understand that more than this I should not do. I have to bring myself.
I'll tell you, I found a very simple formula. If we live as the divine soul, there will be no boundary, there will be no problem. The problem is we are living as the body, mind, ego. If we live as the body, mind, ego, we will be suffering till the rest of our life because there will be clinging and there will be suffering.
Yes.
I live as the soul, and Yogini, I am telling you, why do I live with so much bliss? Why do I live with so much ananda? For what reason? Only because of this consciousness. Who am I? Why am I here? I was just watching many videos people sent me of one of the very famous weddings. I was watching videos and somebody asked me, would you go for the wedding if you were invited? I said, no, I would not go. Why would I go? Why would I go? So the question is that you have to make, for me, I have chosen a life which gives me ananda. So Yogini, you have to make that choice. You have to draw a line. You have to draw a line, for example, that I will not do A, B, C, D. And finally, it's a prioritization. Suppose there's a priority, attending a Zoom call or watching a movie. If you feel watching a movie is more important, then Zoom call, leave it, no problem. So for me, sometimes I miss singing on Monday night in the temple, but I have said, okay, for my retreat, I need to miss one Monday. It's okay. I miss it. But I miss it for a greater reason. So whatever you are asking where to draw a line, use your intelligence in consciousness. When your intelligence is being used in consciousness, Yogini, you will make the right choice. You
Okay,
understood,
sir.
Yogini?
Thank you.
I hope
Yes,
you
sir.
understood. Seturam, Lawrence, Mohan. Unmute, sir. Seturam, please unmute. Yes, sir. Shivam, sir.
Your lecture today was very, very enlightening and inspiring. And what I learned in short is that, can I put it this way, that what you defined attachment is love plus selfishness. Most of the time we think we are giving love, but it is actually attachment, where we have a selfish desire or for selfish reason we get attached to them. That becomes attachment, and attachment makes terrible.
Correct.
And many times it is a transactional love, which is
Correct.
attachment love. We call it love, but actually we always have expectations, and even with family and everyone, but we say it is love, but it is attachment.
Correct.
Then that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I love, if I have a divine love, I tell my divine love I have no expectation.
Yeah.
Then the divine love questions, how can you have no expectation? I have no expectation. So the best way to say is that you will say, "Tum aao to bhi khush na, aao to bhi khush. Jo milo to bhi khush na, milo to bhi." See, when we are attached, Seturam, what you're saying, we are attached, you're right, because we have expectation. We are loving, not because we are loving. I love you because I need you. Where's the love? Where's the love gone? So in detached attachment, what the formula says, I shall love all. If in that attachment, Seturam, if we are becoming unhappy, then it's attachment. If we are detached, then we can be happy.
And
There are, yeah. Yes.
Get miserable, suffer and all, and most of the time we blame others. Now what I understand from you, we are the culprits, not the victims.
No, we are the culprit. Absolutely. We become the victim because we have not learned the art of detached attachment. Setaram, we come into this world alone. We will go alone. We will come with nothing and we will go with nothing. If this much we don't understand, Setaram, if this much we don't understand, then can we call ourselves intelligent?
Actually, lately, after listening to you and being in this space, I am able to particularly relate better with the money and wealth. Earlier, I was quite attached, but that phobia has minimized.
No use. No, Setaram, see, naturally we are attached. I was very attached. I was so attached to my money. Today, if you ask me how much money I have, I don't know. I don't know how much money. I don't know how much money I have. Neither do I want to know.
You have the least, you get liberated actually.
See, so what happens does not mean that the money is, we have thrown the money in the dustbin or we have disowned. No, the money can be there, but we are not attached to the money. We are detached. Is the problem in having money or is the problem in being attached to money? Setra, what is the problem?
Being attached to money.
If you have money, I'm asking you, you make good use of the money. What is the problem, Setra?
But at the same time, I feel if we have money, we are all again mortals and we are in the initial stages of life. Beyond what we require, beyond the needs and too much of it, I think we will definitely, the possibilities of attachment is more.
If we have no realization, yes. The moment you're awakened, then you see, somebody told a beautiful line in the Bible. Somebody told from the Bible, money is the root cause of all evil. In the Bible. What is in the Bible? Money is the root cause of all evil. Setaram. The person in the Bible came and corrected, said wrong. The Bible does not say money is the root cause of all evil. The Bible says love for money is the root cause of all evil. If you love money, then the root cause is of all evil. If you don't love money, money is not the root cause of evil. God has blessed me with money, so much money. We are doing so much good work. Today we are serving dinner to 600 people, destitute people from the street. What is the problem?
And one more thing I have experienced, sir, when we are becoming, our ignorance is getting removed little by little, we become more compassionate, more generous and all. As our generosity increases, the money flows without asking.
Yeah, because that is karma. That is the law of karma. Your generosity becomes karma. The return is you will multiply. I have never found shortage of money in my life. Because the money, I am detached from the money. So that is the way.
Can I say, sir, you are living in abundance.
You need to have an abundant mentality. You need to be having abundant consciousness. It is not about having abundance physically. You must have abundance in your consciousness. Thank you, Sitaram. Lawrence, Mohan, Gopal Prasad. We will end with these three administrators. I don't have to close for much of a closure, but Lawrence, Mohan, and Gopal. Then we close.
AiR, thank you so much. And I enjoyed Smile as always. I'd recommend everyone listening. Well, yeah, you really hit the nail or the dog on the nail. That was me. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, not every moment, but yeah, sure, clinging, staying put on the nail, attachment. But yeah, so my thing is to develop a right understanding. And yeah, I felt a clue, you said on today's Insta was, to make others happy, and I will become happy as I'm doing so, even before they've been made happy. And so then my question is that, say, with right understanding, because I really was moved by what was said about death, and which happens to us all, of the body, the mind. But I thought, okay, taking this life lightly, we are happy, say we're singing with one another instead of fighting. And Hafiz said, forgive the dream. This is a beautiful poem, forgive the dream. And I think then if I do, then that would mean I've let go of it. And therefore, there is no body, mind, ego to exist anymore because I've just let them all go and that consciousness is there. And so I would say, it feels like a gift, a grace for that to happen. But I think it's only because if I resist that it won't. So your comment or whatever, please. Doesn't mean I'm,
No, what you say is beautiful, but the thing is that, see, as long as we live with the body, mind, ego, suffering is going to come. So and as long as we're living in this in a state of consciousness, we can be blissful. What Siddharam said, and not just abundance, but a consciousness of abundance, an attitude of abundance. Most of us are growing. I know many people who are aging in life, and the body starts to suffer. And when the body starts to suffer, they become so miserable. People become miserable because they think they are the body. But the moment you realize you are not the body, then there's the question of suffering. But all of us, there's a difference between having the body having pain and the body causing suffering. Body will have pain, no doubt.
But then the soul has no aid. The soul has no aid. It's
and if you realize you're the soul, then you will not suffer the pain of the body. That is the thing. Thank you. Lawrence,
beautiful.
Mohan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Mohan and Gopal. Mohan Puja.
Hey, can you hear me, please?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, Mohan.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions, on soul.
Yes,
we are all
please.
alive, because of soul. The what you call is Atma.
Yes.
Where is this Atma located, in our body? And if yes, is there any dimension, to the this Atma? And what is the difference between?
You have not seen the Atma.
No, I have not seen, but I'm experiencing because I'm alive. Whatever I have read, in Bhagavad Gita, it says that we are all alive because of Atma, which is invisible to us.
My dear Mohan Pujar.
Yeah.
Atma comes alive 9 months before your birth date. 9 months before, when two cells are conceived and one zygote is formed, the first cell, Atma comes alive. Atma is energy. Atma is Shakti. When a bulb is glowing, bulb, can you tell me where is the electricity in the bulb?
No, you can't see electricity.
You put your hand inside the bulb, then you will come to know where it is.
Yeah, you get a shock. Yes, that's right. But it is there. We know it is there, but you can't see it.
Atma is in every cell of our existence. That energy is in every cell, right from the top to the bottom, every cell. So what's your second question?
Yeah. No. Is there any difference between soul and spirit, please?
No.
Or is it the same thing?
The difference between water and pani.
Okay.
What is the difference in water and pani?
Yeah, same thing. Yes.
Soul, spirit, Atma, Prana, Ru. Ru is also a beautiful word. Huh?
Yes.
Ru.
Yeah.
So this is all are the same.
Yeah. One more question, please. Coming to the size of Atma or soul, I read in Bhagavad Gita, if you break your tip of the hair 10,000 times, that is the size of Atma, and we are all alive because of that Atma. I don't know how far it is true.
Mohan, what is the size of electricity?
You can't define it. Yes,
it has no size. It has no size. Okay. Yeah. Last time, thank you, Mohan. Thank you for joining. Do join the call every day 8 o'clock. Gopal, last comment, Gopal, before we close. Gopal.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is, the person who is moving on the path is spiritual, can they do this thing, life insurance policies, health insurance policy? Because once I die, my son will get all the money. What is your view on this, sir?
This is a part of the comedy called life. You do, you don't do, hardly matters. If you feel you want to do, rather your son should. See, we are, Mohan, Gopal, we should be more worried about our enlightenment, not about our son's entertainment. What happens? That's why they say, Put Saput to Kyudhan Sanjay, Put Kaput to Kyudhan Sanjay. If your son is Saput, then he doesn't need your money, your insurance. If your son is Kaput, he doesn't need your money because he will waste it anyway. But having said that, Gopal, these things, the answer to your question doesn't matter. Do anything and be done with it. Move on. Do what you want to do. Come back to consciousness. Come back to the subject of enlightenment. Come back to the subject of your awakening. Okay?
Okay.
Don't
Thank
let
you.
this bother you. Do it and leave it. It's irrelevant. It's just like you're asking me the question, please tell me tomorrow, should I eat idli, dosa, or should I eat pav bhaji? How does it matter?
Our focus should not be there.
Leave it. Do it. What I'm saying, do it and finish it. Move on. Come back to this. This is the whole. So, my dear friends, today's subject, thank you, Gopal. Today's subject, if you want to be happy, learn the art of detached attachment. FHLEPAMIPS. It has been displayed in your chat box. Copy it. This is a way I have experienced it myself. I have written a book, The 10 Commandments of Detached Attachment. Don't try to be detached. It's a disaster. Don't try to be attached. It will destroy you. Learn the art to be attached in a detached manner. And this is called detached attachment. And it happens when you realize you are the soul. Nobody can cling to you, and neither will you cling to anybody. Realize the truth. With folded hands, I bow down to you.